Hello and welcome to Ancient Origins. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, if you've watched the movie The Da Vinci Code, you've probably noticed this referenced everywhere, from your art history class to viral videos about nature's perfect code. It's a number 1.618, and it's sold as the secret to all things beautiful. A divine proportion that supposedly governs ancient architecture, Renaissance art, and even our own DNA. But what if I told you the story is far more complicated and way more interesting than that? Today we dive into the science that shatters the legend to reveal a much deeper truth. Let's break it down. First, what exactly is the golden ratio? It's a number that carries an almost mythical reputation. It's often represented by the Greek letter phi, and it begins with a simple, elegant pattern you learned about in school, the Fibonacci sequence. You start with 0 and 1, and then each new number is just the sum of the two before it. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so on forever. Now here's the magic. If you take any two consecutive numbers in that sequence and divide the larger one by the smaller one, something amazing happens. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, 5 divided by 3 is 1.666, 13 divided by 8 is 1.625. As you go further and further, the ratio gets closer and closer to our magic number, roughly 1.618. That is the golden ratio. This simple mathematical property has led to some of the most extraordinary claims in history. The idea is that this ratio is fundamentally pleasing to the human eye, a divine proportion hardwired into the universe. Proponents claim to find it everywhere. They say the ancient Greeks used it to design the Parthenon. The ratio of the building's width to its height is said to be a perfect golden ratio, creating a sense of divine harmony and balance. They claim Renaissance artists like Leonardo da Vinci used it as a guide. The proportions of the Vitruvian Man, for example, with the navel as the center, are said to perfectly align with phi. Even the Mona Lisa's face is rumored to fit perfectly inside a golden rectangle. And most compellingly, they point to nature. The spirals in a sunflower seed head, if you count the spirals going clockwise and counterclockwise, you'll almost always find two consecutive Fibonacci. Numbers like 34 and 55. You see it in the branching of trees, the veins in leaves, and the mesmerizing curve of a nautilus shell. It's a comforting thought that a single beautiful number brings order to a chaotic world. But is this beautiful story the whole truth? As it turns out, many of these classic examples begin to crumble under scrutiny. Let's go back to the Parthenon. Mathematicians are quick to point out that these claims rely on very arbitrary measurements. Do you measure from the top step or the bottom? Do you include the triangular roof in the height? Depending on where you choose to draw the lines, you can get all sorts of ratios, and it's easy to cherry-pick the one that happens to be close to 1.618. There's also zero historical evidence that the Greeks ever intentionally used the number phi in their designs. The same goes for Da Vinci's art. Those golden rectangles you see overlaid on the Mona Lisa, they were drawn on there by authors hundreds of years later. It's a classic case of seeing a pattern because you want to see it. For years, the academic world has mostly dismissed the golden ratio's universal importance as a fun but inaccurate myth. Phi, they argue, is just one of many important mathematical constants like pi, or e. It arises from a specific mathematical context and isn't some master key to the universe. For a long time, it seems the golden ratio was just a captivating story. And then science threw a curveball. In a lab focused on one of the greatest mysteries of all, the origin of life, scientists were running computer simulations of prehistoric chemical soups. They were trying to see how simple non-living molecules could organize themselves into self-replicating systems, the very foundation of life. And a strange, unbelievable pattern emerged from the digital chaos. In the simulations where chemical systems began to successfully self-replicate, a familiar number kept appearing as the key ratio between growth rates, 1.618. For a moment, the old myth seemed real. Forget art and architecture. Could the golden ratio be the actual mathematical code for life itself? Could it be a preordained outcome, a universal law for any life anywhere in the cosmos? The excitement was palpable, but science is a continuous story, and as more simulations ran, the plot thickened. The golden ratio was there, but it wasn't alone. Other numbers appeared just as often. Sometimes the key ratio was 1.3 to 4, a number known as the plastic number. Other times it was 1.220, and many others. Phi wasn't special. It was just one of many possible outcomes. The researchers finally cracked the real code, and it wasn't a single number. Think of each simulation as having its own unique recipe described by a mathematical phrase called a characteristic polynomial. Each recipe produced its own special number that governed its growth. Phi was simply the result of one recipe out of a potentially infinite cookbook. The universe, it turns out, doesn't have one favorite number for creating life. It has an infinite toolkit. So is the golden ratio a myth? Yes and no. The journey to understand it leads us to a profound conclusion. We are drawn to simple, elegant answers to a single Da Vinci Code that explains everything. But the real secret of the universe isn't a single number. The golden ratio isn't the universal divine code it's often made out to be. But the quest to understand it has shown us something far more profound. The universe is more creative, complex, and beautiful than any single number could ever describe. The true beauty lies in the infinite variety of patterns that can lead to life. The truth isn't a single note, it's an infinite symphony. I implore you to persist in your search. Continue to question. The truths we seek are not concealed, but are openly displayed in the fabric of our everyday existence. We are left to ponder the ultimate question: is our reality a meticulously constructed illusion, or is it a phenomenon whose immensity transcends human imagination? Life is profoundly more than it seems, and its entire weight and meaning exists only in this fleeting instant. There is no past to reclaim, no future to secure. There is only the eternal present. If this episode sparked your curiosity, we invite you to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Dive deeper into the secrets of the ancient world. Don't miss the next big reveal. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. See you soon.